to another edition of App of the Week. Today we're going to be talking about an app called Nearpod. This is an oldie, but it's a goodie. It's one that we've used here in our district for a little bit, but it's one that I really enjoy, and I know a lot of teachers in our district are enjoying using it as well. So we just do an App of the Week of it. And Nearpod is a presentation tool that is great for allowing the teacher to put presentations on mobile devices, so students would be able to access this presentation from their iPad or from their Chromebook, and as a teacher is presenting it, they would be able to see it and follow along at the teacher's control from their mobile device. So as a teacher moves a slide from one slide to the next, or from one activity to the next, it'll also move on the device as well. Really cool. I also like it because it allows for some interaction with the presentation. It's not just a sit and get kind of presentation. Students can be involved in the presentation. It gives them some engagement. So it's a really neat tool that I think a lot of people will really enjoy using and already have using. So I just hit join, I hit create, so I want to show you how you can create a brand new presentation. You see I have a few up there. I'm just going to click on one so you can see what it looks like when you open it up. The two Nearpod slides, they come with it. It's automatically on there. But if I want to create a brand new slide of my own, I'm going to hit this add slide button. When I click that, it gives me a few options. So for today's presentation, I'm not going to focus on any of the free trials. I'm just going to look at the other things that are free and ready to use. So the first one is add content. When I click on that, you're going to see I have a few options of the different kinds of content that I can add to my presentation. So I have a slide option where I can create a slide from scratch. I can add text to it. I can add images. You see when I click on my text, I can start typing things in there. When I click on my images, it gives me the ability to do searches for images either through Google Images or my Drive, or it's maybe something that I have on my computer. So I have plenty of different options in terms of what kind of content I can add to my Nearpod presentation. So I'm just going to go back here and then just close out of this. You get the idea where you can make your own slide presentations. You can also add video to your presentation as well. It is small. You can only add videos the size of 20 megs. So it's not that big, but you do have that ability to add video to your Nearpod presentation. You also have the ability to add slideshows on here too. So if you have a PowerPoint that you've already done, you have something that you've already created, you can drag it in here and you can use that as a part of your Nearpod presentation. Now I will say it generally puts it all as one big image. So you'll see the slideshow will show us a bunch of small slides in one big image. But you can't do that. You can't pull individual slides in here if that's easier for you. But you have that ability to pull some content in here from things that you've already created. Okay, so in addition to the content, you also have activities, and this is what makes Nearpod really cool, because it gives you some options in terms of how you can let students interact. So you have the open-ended questions, the polls, and the quizzes. So instead of students just watching it, you can ask these questions to assess whether they understand what you're talking about. Do they agree? You can get their opinions on things, and you just little quick bits of things that you can do to engage students as you're presenting. You also have the drawing feature, where you can have students draw different things into their Nearpod. So you can ask them questions and you can have them graph something or maybe draw something, annotate over something. But the great thing about it is, as they're doing it, you, the teacher, will be able to see what they're doing once they submit it. So you'll be able to see all the students' feedback from it for all of these options: the drawing, the quiz, the poll, and the open-ended question. So I'm going to click back here, and I want to go to a presentation that I've already created. I'm going to go to my iPad one and open this one up, and you'll be able to see what my slide is. It's very small, very quick, but you can see I have one where they can interact on a website straight from the Nearpod, and then some of the other tools that we talked about before, the drawing, the poll, the open-ended questions. You see I also have a slide in here that I just created from scratch. At the bottom here, I'd be able to hit publish if it was brand new. I'm just going to go to more and just make this a live session. When I do that, you'll see that it's going to give me a PIN number. And this is the PIN number that I would give to my students to enter into their Nearpod device, or their device from the Nearpod app, so they can access this particular presentation. So this is a very important part of Nearpod. So for my student device, I'm just going to click on my Nearpod app. I can select the join session. I'm going to enter that code that was on the teacher presentation and select join, and now that will give me access to the presentation that the teacher has. So download that presentation. Now I have it on my device. So as a teacher, once my students are in, I can begin controlling the presentation. Now currently I'm on as anonymous, but you can have your students create accounts too and log in and join the presentation, so then you'll be able to see who's entering what and when. For right now, I'm just entering the presentation anonymously. So you'll notice here when I, as a teacher, when they slide in, they'll move over. Now I have student 1, so now I can enter a name for this first student. I'm just going to type in my name and hit submit, and then you'll see on the student 1 it says thank you, and then it submits it. And now the teacher is able to see it. You see that switch there, and then now as a teacher I move on to the slide, and now as I move, you'll see when I click move over for my teacher, it automatically moves it over for me as a student. The first slide is the website. It's going to spin and find the website for me that I as a student can interact with. Just for the sake of time, I'm going to skip through this one. And then it gives me the option to drawing. So now I have a banner up here that I as a teacher has already set. So if I want students to be able to enter something in here, I can. So you're going to see me as a student be able to write something in here and submit something. Up at the top, I'm just putting different things on here, and when I hit send, now my teacher will be able to see the drawing that I submitted into my presentation. You see it comes up on the teacher screen as well. And so you kind of get the idea. You can see as we go through what I see as a teacher, what the student sees. You can create your presentations, go through them, interact with them, have great discussions. And Nearpod is a great tool that allows you to have that control and that interaction. So check out Nearpod. It is available on the iPad and both the Chromebooks. It's a great tool for your presentations.